All right, welcome back to the channel. So Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz will be fighting one another, and Leo Santa Cruz is completely delusional. Let's talk about Leo Santa Cruz's delusion in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So Gervonta Tank Davis, a star, one of the top three American stars in boxing. Gervonta Davis, right there behind Deontay Wilder and Errol Spence Jr., the #1 big money man below 140 pounds. Tank Davis is a star. And this star, sorry about that, man. Very unprofessional, but still must happen. Had a business call in the middle of the video, so had to handle it. So let's see where we were in the notes. So okay, yeah. So we just got to this point, man. All right. So Leo Santa Cruz, man. Leo Santa Cruz is the WBA. I don't even understand how this dude gets to be all of this stuff, but he is the WBA 126-pound champion. He's the WBA 130-pound champion, and he's fighting to be the WBA regular 135-pound champion at 130 pounds. His 130-pound title's on the line, but his 126-pound title's not on the line, right? Despite the fact about the WBC did to Guillermo Rigondeaux and made him fight for his. But regardless, man, I digress. But this is what Leo Santa Cruz has to say about this fight. He says that he is going to take Gervonta Davis down into the deep. He's going to do the Floyd Mayweather Jr. thing with Gervonta Tank Davis. The Gervonta Tank Davis is going to fight for the first couple rounds, and then after 3 rounds, he's going to be gassed. Leo Santa Cruz is going to take him into deep water, and that's how Leo Santa Cruz is going to beat Gervonta Tank Davis. Okay. Now, why would he think that? Shout out to my coffee maker. Not advertisement, but I gotta hit my coffee this morning. So, Leo Santa Cruz say he's gonna drown him, right? Now, that's what Floyd Mayweather Jr. would do. Just let me know to tell you what that is. He's gonna spend a couple rounds boxing. This is how Floyd Mayweather Jr. would do it. Floyd Mayweather Jr. would spend about 3 rounds feeling you out, right? First couple rounds feeling you out, figuring out what you like to do, what you don't like to do, right? Get in his mind, get his timing down with you, all that good stuff. And after 3 or 4 rounds, after all of your stuff, he's disarmed. Like your option number 1, he's taken away. Then you switch to option number 2, he sees that and he takes it away. Then he's going to start pressing you. And the longer the fight goes on, the more tired you're going to get. He's going to be completely fresh. He starts picking up the pace on you a little bit. And, if you're not careful, you're going to get knocked out. If you are careful, you're going to wind up keeping your hands at home, and he's going to win those points and get away with a decision, get out of the ring with a unanimous decision or something like that. That's how Floyd Mayweather Jr. would play the latter part of his career. And what he talked about is taking you into deep water and drowning you. Now, Leo Santa Cruz is a volume puncher. That's his style. He's a volume puncher. He doesn't have a tremendous amount of power. He didn't have a tremendous amount of power in any weight class I've seen. 118, 122, 126, definitely not at 130. But he has some unique things about him in that he does have a very good defense as far as like blocking and parrying punches. Because of the length of his arms, like he does an excellent job of protecting his head and his sides at the same time, and his high activity rate and the fact that whenever you rest, he's throwing shots at you. It wears down on the guys that he was fighting, and eventually, he does wind up getting him into deep water, and it's his volume, his endurance, and all that stuff, carries him on to the victory. That, my friends, is not a strategy that is going to work well with Gervonta Tank Davis. And for several reasons. One, Gervonta Davis is not somebody that really expends or wastes a tremendous amount of energy. So so Gervonta Davis is not throwing a bunch of punches that are not landing. He's throwing very tight shots. He's throwing very accurate shots, and he's not throwing shots. He's not throwing punches for the sake of throwing punches. So the idea that he's going to punch himself out and make himself tired fighting Leo Santa Cruz after the first 3 rounds, it doesn't make much sense. Doesn't make much sense to me as far as like his fighting style. Now, I think what Leo Santa Cruz is counting on is 2 things. Gervonta Davis coming in, having to drain down to 130 pounds, and Gervonta Davis underestimating him, right? And him not training and taking his conditioning very seriously, because, I mean, let's just be honest, dude. From outside looking in, Leo Santa Cruz looked like he's about to be a test dummy for Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, I'm not going to say this is as bad a mismatch as the Abner Mares Gervonta Davis fight was looking like, but you know, just nothing you can really see that would convince. Well, it's not going to convince me that that Leo Santa Cruz is going to be able to beat Gervonta Davis. So I doubt very much that Gervonta Davis is taking him serious in that regard. However, if he doesn't take him serious in that regard, he can have a difficulty making weight. So if you look at, like, for example, the Ivan Redcash sparring tape that's out on Gervonta Davis, or if you look at the tape that is out with Floyd Mayweather Jr. in the ring with Gervonta Davis, you do see that he looks very, very thick through the middle. I doubt Gervonta Davis is any less than 155 pounds. He looks like he's about 150 pounds right now. And now you are at least 8 weeks out from the fight, but you can see with the size that he still has on him that he's got a considerable amount of time. I think he does have a good amount of weight to get off of him. So if Gervonta Davis doesn't take the conditioning seriously, if he winds up in the last week or 2 having to really starve himself down, there could be some weakening that would take place in the fight that could take place with him going into that fight with Leo Santa Cruz. Also, if you looked at, and this is what I think that, now this is not a concern for me, but I'm sure it's something that Leo Santa Cruz and their camp is looking at. But in the last fight with Yuriorkis Gamboa, there's a lot of people that said, I'm not one of them, but there are a lot of people that believe that Gervonta Davis gassed out in the second half of the fight with Yuriorkis Gamboa. If you recall the fight, Gervonta Davis got a knockdown against Yuriorkis Gamboa. I think it was in the second round. Yuriorkis Gamboa twisted his ankle or did something. Some people say he tore his Achilles heel. Whatever the case was, he was no longer as mobile after that. But Gervonta Davis wasn't able to knock him out until the 11th round. And there were some times when it looked like Gervonta Davis wasn't really actively engaging. He stepped back. He stepped back and, took a deep breath or whatever. Now, Gervonta Davis's statement on it was that he backed away from Yuriorkis Gamboa because Yuriorkis Gamboa was really just trying to set traps and catch him countering. But also he wanted to make sure that, since he figured that, Gamboa wasn't really engaging, he wanted to make sure that he didn't gas himself out and he still has stuff left for the last part of the fight. And as you see in round, and I do believe it was around 11. If it's not, correct me in the comment section. I don't have all this stuff memorized and I don't script this stuff. It's just coming off the top of my head. So if I forget a date here and there, you got to live with it. Or you can't live with it, whatever the case is, but it's going to happen now and then. So I think it was the 11th round that Gervonta Davis knocked out Yuriorkis Gamboa. And he seemed to have had significant amount of power and able to pull that off, right? Now, Leo Santa Cruz, I can't say, I don't know what Leo Santa Cruz's chin looks like. So like the things that Leo Santa Cruz needs to be able to have in order to survive against Gervonta Davis is that Leo Santa Cruz better have a terrific chin. and he better be able to take an uppercut, like a right uppercut, a lead right uppercut on Leo Santa Cruz. I know that that's something that could leave you open, dude, but the hand speed difference between Leo Santa Cruz and Gervonta Davis is just so significant. And Gervonta Davis has such a big right hand. He's got a huge left hand, but his right hand, you guys just take a minute and go look at the sparring, at the training session between Gervonta Davis with Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather Jr., where Floyd Mayweather Jr. is holding the mitts. And look at that hook. Look at the uppercut, the lead uppercut, lead right, right hook, lead uppercut that these guys are working on in that video, dude. And just listen to the thuds coming off of those mitts, man. Gervonta Tank Davis, dude, he's got a lot there. So Leo Santa Cruz is going to have a tremendous chin, and he's going to have a tremendous body. He's going to have, conditioned midsection. Because Gervonta Davis's body shots are something ugly. I see Gervonta Davis knocking out Leo Santa Cruz somewhere around, round 8 or 9. I keep changing my prediction on that. I don't think it's going to be an early knockout because Leo Santa Cruz, I don't want to underestimate Leo Santa Cruz and Leo Santa Cruz his ability to throw his opponent off, to keep something in his opponent's face, and to keep his opponent's hands at home. But sooner or later, he's going to really get walloped with something with Gervonta Davis. Now, the other way that Gervonta Davis could go about the fight, and something that I would like to see Gervonta Davis do with Leo Santa Cruz, is I would like to see Gervonta Davis just get into the chest of Leo Santa Cruz and bang it out with him. I would love to see that, because if Gervonta Davis sits outside and boxes with Leo Santa Cruz, I think that he's going to win the fight, and he's still going to wind up getting the knockout. But Leo Santa Cruz, if he just goes straight to him, gets right in his chest, and really makes it an inside war, makes it a chest to chest war, man, he might be able to get Leo Santa Cruz out there in 2 or 3 rounds, right? So that's my hope for the fight. I think it's a good fight. It's a good fight in that I want to see Leo Santa Cruz gone. Other than that, the only mystery in this fight is whether or not Gervonta Davis is going to come in the best shape that he can be. If he's 100%, 95% shape Gervonta Davis, he's going to get Leo Santa Cruz out of there. But but there is the danger that because the fight on paper looks like such a mismatch, that Gervonta Davis won't take him serious, and then he can get himself in trouble. But that's my take on the situation. You let me know what you think. And with that, I'm out. Peace.